for us, this is an enormously important relationship. This relationship is growing in substance. And I can see at this time of uncertainties that actually it has a greater value. It's a very steady relationship. It is a relationship where largely what we promise to each other and policies that we have remain constant and remain predictable. So, predictability today has a huge premium in global politics.
This means President Trump has brokered, on average, about one peace deal or ceasefire per month during his 6 months in office. It's well past time that President Trump was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
And even when we have gone to the World Trade Organization and won on things like agricultural cases, the EU has refused to cooperate. And so we've been in a situation where Germany sells us 7 cars for every one we sell them. We have a massive trade deficit with the EU. The trade deficit itself writ large is a great threat to our national security and economic security, and it's an emergency that we're dealing with.
We get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them.
India equals Asia for us, and Germany and the European Union, in a way, are equivalent for India. It is of immense importance, as has become obvious today during our talks, that India plays a very important part. And though we both have our own political positions and political priorities, but when it comes to democratic principles and regulatory steps, both our countries and both our markets tend to be very diligent and adhering to certain details. Sometimes we could make it easier for the other side to engage in the respective market. And we've underlined that in our discussions today, and I think we both have our homework to do in that regard. When I was young and went to school and later studied at university, I got to know India as a non-aligned country. Of course, that has left its mark on this country and distinguishes this country from Germany, which has always been a part of NATO, part of the Western world. And during the Cold War, we were in confrontation with the then Soviet Union. And unfortunately, and I deplore that fact, because we thought we'd overcome that, but we are back in a situation, we've not been able to overcome this, back in a situation where we're confronting Russia, have a confrontation between Russia and the European and Europe, because international law is being violated there. We find us again in this situation, and India finds itself in a different situation. So that is a challenge to talk about these matters, or rather not to talk about these matters, but to always reach a perfect agreement on all of these issues. But that's obvious, that's what is to be expected, and I don't think it's something bad, because in so many other areas we totally agree, and we have this reliability and predictability of the respective partner country, which plays such an enormous part, and of which we know that this is a clear political stance of India to contribute to bringing about a process for peace in Ukraine as quickly as possible. Again, here we see eye to eye.
The fact is today, we have, I'm now speaking from an Indian perspective, we have important strategic relationships with a number of countries. And it's in the nature of global politics or global strategy today that each one of these relationships would be maintained and you would optimize them. So to me, both Germany in itself and Germany as the biggest country of the European Union are obviously central to the calculations and to the relationships that we have in the world. So, I mean, if you look at it by virtually any metric, I mean, whether it is economic, whether it is political, we were, among the other things we didn't get to mention here, except Johan did at the end of his remarks, we are two countries who are also, as part of the G4, trying to change trying to bring about a reform of the Security Council and of the UN itself. So, for us, this is an enormously important relationship. This relationship is growing in substance. And I can see at this time of uncertainties that actually it has a greater value. It's a very steady relationship. It is a relationship where largely what we promise to each other and policies that we have remain constant and remain predictable. So, predictability today has a huge premium in global politics. So I do think that, this relationship is actually only growing in its weight and its value, and part of the reason why we have met so regularly, even in the last few months, and spoken to each other is because of that.